So, we're live once again. Yeah, I was supposed to do a podcast show Friday, but I decided to back out of it. Yeah, I would tell you one thing. It's been a long 3 days, so, let's get the intro going, and we will discuss and review the new, board game I bought, which was the Batman Funko verse strategy game, and talk about the new books I bought. So let's get the intro going, shall we? So, anyway, so I took a run to the store, and it's been a while since I bought comics. I bought some comics at half-price books, stopped at V-Stock, picked up some new books that I didn't get to buy Wednesday, because I'm busy. I'm usually like, it's the middle of the week. It's just like I'm so tired. I don't feel like running anywhere. I'd just rather rest and not do anything. And so I'm really tired. Also because my neighbors are fucking idiots who like making noise around midnight to 3 a.m. I don't know what they're doing. They're fucking idiots. So, anyway, I'm going to save the Funko verse for the last thing I'm going to review. I'm going to get right to the books. And, anyway, I'm going to save the best book I bought from Half Price Books for last, because I really like that one a lot. So, anyway, I bought some books that are tied into the Hanna-Barbera verse. Let's lower the music in case you can't hear me. So, I bought Black Lightning and Hong Kong Phooey. I'm not a big Black Lightning fan, and the creator of Black Lightning is kind of a dipshit, so I bought it because I love Hong Kong Phooey, and I mean, think about it, a dog doing karate, come on, that's fun, Hong Kong Phooey. I haven't read it yet. I started reading the Scooby Apocalypse Book 2, even though I have the trade paperback. I love the art cover of Scooby Apocalypse number 2. Let's see. One I bought, which is kind of a rarity, and I tell you one thing. Sorry, I'm responding to a message. So, what I bought, which is to me a rarity because I never seen it before, it's Batman and the brand Sweetened Cereal comic, a collector's mini-series comic. I never heard of the Untold Legend of the Batman number 3 book. I never heard of Sweetened Cereal. I found the book and I was just like, man, this is really cool. I never seen it. It was like $3 at Half Price Books. I've never seen it. It's kind of funny that my uncle was with me when we were doing a comic book run, and we were like chit chat and talking about different comics. He's a Marvel fan. He's a diehard Marvel fan. I'm a diehard DC fan. And it's kind of funny though, because we will talk about the same things and really pass knowledge to one another. We just, like, I know some stuff about Marvel that he doesn't, and he knows a lot about Spider-Man, Iron Man, Namor, Aquaman. He's a big Aquaman fan, which I did not know. So I bought him like an Aquaman shirt. And I bought him a book he never read. He read The Dark Knight Returns, but he never read The Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade, which I always spoke about, like how amazing the writing and the artwork is. I wish they had Romita Jr. do the entirety of The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. I think he would have been perfect for it. And I think he's doing the next one, which is The Golden Child, I think. And I will tell you one thing. It looks interesting, even though Superman and Lois's son has a big ass fucking head. And I would tell you it is interesting. It's an interesting comic, and I would love to see Miller do more Batman, even though like The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race book sucked. Even though it was more like even Miller said it was more like a Brian Azzarello book than it was his book. I wish Miller would do another Batman book. After reading the Superman Year 1 comic, even though a lot of people were like divided, and most people just hated it. And it's fucking funny though, because I spoke about it. I said many episodes ago that people who dislike Frank Miller are a bunch of pussies, which I got a lot of heat for saying that, but it's the truth. And it's funny though, because back then people were like, we need the Batman, we need the Dark Knight Returns Batman, we need, Frank Miller revolutionized Batman, and all of a sudden they're like, Frank Miller is a sexist, misogynist, homophobic person. Basically, like, they just talked the shit about him, saying how he didn't respect female characters. And one person, saying, when will this old man finally die, so all the female characters can be saved. And it's just like, even though that person was like, I did not say he should die, even though you said, when will this old man die? It's like, people who criticize Frank Miller are a bunch of pussies. White knighters. They white knight. They have to white knight, and everything. It's like, I love Frank Miller's Batman. I love Batman Year 1. One of my favorite books, my all-time favorite book series, comic series, And I love The Dark Knight Returns, even though I'm kind of like, fatigued on it. But I love it. I think Dark Knight Returns is amazing. And I think people should look at it. It's very different when you look at it years later than compared back then. But for me, I just really think people should give should give the Batman books a chance. You know, his books deserve a chance. Like, I love Sin City. I think it's amazing. Even though a lot of people say his artwork's not that great, I think it's decent. So, it's alright, love. So, anyway, I talked about the 3 books. The Untold Legend of the Batman by Sweetened Cereal brand, which was like one of those comics you get in a cereal. You know, you get comics in the cereal, and it's kind of funny though. They did it recently, and it was like the Justice League books. I don't eat cereal, even though I eat I'll take it back. I do eat Fruity Pebbles cereal because I love the Flintstones. And I remember they had these books. I would buy the cereal. It's funny though. My nephew loved the cereal that they were selling it with the comics, and I would buy the cereal, take the comic out, give my nephew the cereal, and I just want the book. It was kind of like the funniest thing. And it's funny though, because I have to post a photo of it on the Instagram page and the episode on Twitter. On Twitter, even though a lot of people who follow me on Twitter said I did not upload the episode. Last one I did, I will upload it, and this one I promise. And I will take a photo of this comic. It's funny though, I will take a photo of this comic and the comic that I got in this cereal presently. It's funny though, because the book is bigger than the comic that the cereal, in the current cereal state. Scooby Apocalypse #2, which I really love the Scooby Apocalypse series. I wish they didn't end it, but they did. I don't know why. It's kind of dumb though. It was like when DC was on the right track of doing things, and they sort of derailed, and now they're trying to get back on track. Black Lightning and Hong Kong Phooey. I mainly bought the book because Hong Kong Phooey. You're so good. Thanks, love. Alright, finally the book I bought at Half Price Books. I saved the best one of it for last that I bought. And I will also talk about the one box I bought. I bought a comic box, which is the New Frontier at V-Stock. I forgot to talk about that one. Justice League, the New Frontier Classified. It's the New Frontier special. It came out when they were doing the New Frontier movie that they did, based on the Darwin Cook comic, which is legendary. I love the Justice League New Frontier comic. I think that when you're going to do a Justice League movie, you have to make it like the New Frontier, because the New Frontier is telling each character's story, where they get together, unite as the League. It's mostly a Flash-centered movie a bit, and I'm not going to complain about it. I love the Flash as much as the next person. If they would ever do a movie in either the Matt Reeves version of Batman being in it, with Grant Gustin playing the Flash, I'd be for it. I think that doing a Justice League movie where the Flash is sort of the centered character, where he's trying to unite the League and trying to be inspiring like Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman, hell, even having John Jones in it is really cool. I am a fan of the Martian Manhunter. I think that he should have been in the Justice League film, in my opinion. Even though now they're saying the General in the Man of Steel. I forget the guy who played him. He has a good voice. He has that voice that's kind of sounds like Batman a bit. I think that Martian Manhunter should have been in Justice League, in my opinion. I think they should have, included him. I don't know why, but they should have, in my opinion. Anyway, I love the stories in it. Each story in the first issue is like a short story, like where they have the Teen Titans in it. Then they have Superman, Batman going at it. And they have Catwoman in it, which is revealed that Catwoman and Bruce Wayne were at the nightclub where Barry battled Captain Cold, which was really cool. And I kind of knew it because it's like, when I saw it, I was like, that's Batman and Catwoman right there. I really love it. I think it's a good issue. I've been looking for it for years. I've been looking for it. When they said like there's a comic attached to the film, I've been looking for that comic. I could not find it. And I remember I was so excited when I found it. It was like it's kind of like the Indiana Jones Discovery thing where I found it. I was just like, yes, this is the book I've been looking for. And yeah, I didn't really buy a whole lot at half-price books because I kind of knew we were going to go over to V-Stock because my uncle was like, where the hell's V-Stock at? I've been looking for it, and I had to like show him where it's at. He didn't even know it was at the mall because he thought the mall like shut down and didn't know there were stores there, but there was. So we hopped over there, and it was a really cool, fun go through comics. I seen some comics I had interest in buying, but I didn't buy because I really didn't want to buy a Joker comic. Like, it was so ridiculous how the DC Black Label is. Like, they have 2 Joker books out. They have the Joker, which is kind of like this Hannibal Lecter style of Joker, which I'm not going to complain. It's okay. Where it's basically like the relationship between the Joker and his new psychiatrist, which is a dude. So it's not like Harley Joker thing. It's kind of like Hannibal Lecter and Will, I think is the name from the show Hannibal. It's kind of like the relationship between the two. And they had the Joker and Harley, which I sort of like flipped a bird to. I was like, fuck this book. I don't want it. So, I know it's going to sound mean, but I'm really tired of Joker and Harley. So, I mean, not the Joker and Harley from the Sean Ward show. I love those two. Those are funny versions of the Joker and Harley that they should do in films. So anyway, I bought Batman Curse of the White Knight, book 4. I have book 3 and 4. I have to get 1 and 2 later on. I got the version with Alfred on the cover, which they had like 2 different. I think they had like 2 different versions, and I forget the other version. But I saw the one with Alfred. And it's Alfred holding a sword, and I really liked that cover. And I was just like, that's a really cool cover. I think they did one of Batman, then they did one of Gordon, and they did one of Alfred, so I got the Alfred cover, which I really like. It's not a bad book. I will take it back, I did read the first one, and it felt more like Sean Murphy was going into the Scott Snyder element of telling a story, which kind of aggravates me a bit. I got Batman 81, which I did read. I immediately started reading this one because I had to know what happens. I am kind of split on this book. The one part that unnerved me, which I was so aggravated when I was reading it, was, spoiler alert for those who haven't read the last issue, I'm sure everyone has, Batman Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne, has Damian Wayne held hostage. Now, I have to do this rant, mind you. I I will do this rant real quick. I gotta tell the other books because my rant will be pretty damn long. I bought Detective Comics 1013 and 1014. The Mr. Freeze story, which is told by Peter J. Tomasi, and I will say this, I love this story run of Mr. Freeze. I absolutely love it. I think it is amazing. They finally awaken Nora. Nora awakes from her years of being in a comatose state as Mr. Freeze finds the cure. I love this story. I think it's an amazing story. Peter J. Tomasi is, I think, one of the best writers in DC. James IV, of course, did an amazing job with Detective Comics. Now he's doing Batman, which I look forward to seeing what he's going to do with Batman. But this book, the Mr. Freeze thing, makes up for the Arkham Knight story that they were trying to do. I was disappointed with his run with the Arkham Knight. I wasn't really big on it. It was better than revealing who the Arkham Knight is than the Arkham Knight video game, where it was revealed to be Jason Todd. This Mr. Freeze story makes up everything for what happened with the Arkham Knight. With Mrs. Freeze being awakened, becoming the right-hand woman of Mr. Freeze, his compass, I guess you would say. It is amazing. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do. I cannot wait to see what happens next on Detective Comics 1015. I know a lot of people are like, what is 1015? It's 1015. I'm just calling it 1015, so makes it easier. I love the story of Mr. Freeze. I'm happy that they did a storyline focus on Mr. Freeze, because I felt like Mr. Freeze has been ignored badly in the Tom King run of Batman. I know they did a Mr. Freeze storyline where Mr. Freeze turns himself in and Batman has to join the jury and, all that. But I felt like this version was like, this is the Mr. Freeze I know. He's the guy who's focused, laser focused on what he's going to do. And that's saving Nora. And he did it. He brought Nora back. They have this moment, which I really love. I love how they focus on this moment. I love the story, the side story, where Alfred is dressed as the Flash. He's basically wearing a Flash mask. A Halloween mask. And I think it's amazing part. I love the humor in it. And it makes me wish Peter J. Tomasi did the Batman comics, but I'm happy he's doing Detective Comics. I want to see him stay on Detective Comics. I don't know if he's leaving Detective Comics in the future. I know they brought in another writer. I don't know what they're going to do next. I want to see him stick around to do it. I completely agree with you. So it's a good comics. I did read part of the. I have to talk about the Untold Legend of the Batman. I did read part of it. It's basically it's basically a mini story. There was like another comic that they have of it. It was basically Robin stealing the Batmobile from Batman in anger. It was kind of dumb. So, I didn't grab that one. I grabbed the one because the number 3 book, because I like the cover. The cover is pretty cool. So, anyway. Let's talk about City of Bane, Batman 81. Shall we? So, I love John Romita Jr. doing the artwork. There's one artist I really like who, God, God, what's his name? It's not Ramita Jr. It's some other guy who did the artwork. Shit. I forget the other guy's name. There's an artist I really liked who did Batman. Maybe it's in these box of comics, I don't know. So, anyway. So, Ramita Jr. doing the art for Batman. I liked what he did with this run so far. I know it's like I forget how many books he's doing. I think he's doing 2. Because Tom King always changes up artists. I don't know why he does it, and it's kind of irritating when you think about it. So, I think there's going to be like a new artist who's taken over for Batman 82 and 83 and stuff. So it bugs me how they change up the artists and stuff. I don't know if it's like a mood setting thing or something. I don't know. And for me, sorry, I had to pick up my cat. She was laying on the cover of the book. It's hard to read the cover of the book when you're laying on it. My cat is fine, by the way. She had to go to the vet. She had to get her shots. She's very cranky. She's a bit cranky. She's kind of tired, which the vet said like her 2 shots, she had to get her feline shot and she had to get her baby shot. And I know she was very cranky on the ride home, basically meowing. I don't know if she was like cussing me out because like one part she like did the meow and all of a sudden it was like silent and I had to like look and she's like asleep. On the car ride home, and I finally pulled in the driveway, and I got her out of the pet carrier, and there was like the other cats, the outdoor cats that I feed. I even named them like Romeo, Edward, Bella, Sylvester, who basically looks like Sylvester the cat from Looney Tunes, and. So anyway, I was like carrying them, and here comes Romeo walking, and all of a sudden I hear my cat start meowing and shaking the pet carrier. It's just like, so it was funny though. So anyway, it was kind of a crazy thing, and it was kind of funny though. It was like the first time it was been a while since I been at the vet's office. And I had to like let this person go ahead of me, this woman. She brought her cat in, who is a senior cat. I found out the cat's like 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. I was like, damn. I mean it in a good way, because it's like, wow, that cat. I had to ask the woman, like, what is your secret for your cat's longevity? And it was basically, keep doing what you're doing. Is like give this cat so much love and attention and affection. It's kind of hard to do when you have a cat who's like in the middle of the night, sitting in the middle of the hallway, looking at you, which scares me half the time. So, anyway, I had to let this woman go ahead of me because her cat was having bladder problems and stuff, and it was kind of sad. It was sad though, because like the cat, she was talking about the cat, talking about 2 days ago her cat caught a mouse and kept it alive by basically playing with it. which was kind of funny though. So the nurse who's there asked me, like, is it okay if she goes ahead of you? Get her cat checked out. I was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. Like, I basically was like, okay, go ahead. Like, like, go ahead. I don't mind. I'll wait out here. Because it's like, you have a senior cat who's having bladder problems. It's like, that cat needs to be checked before mine. That's fine. My cat's just here for 2 shots. I could deal with her. So, luckily the cat is perfectly fine. I did not know one thing I found out, which is pregnant dogs can get ultrasounds. I did not know that. I was amazed by that. I wanted to sit through that just to watch. Because my dogs can't have puppies. She's fixed. I don't want no little Lilos around, because one Lilo's enough to deal with. I'm fine. I took care of her as a puppy, and I don't need a whole bunch of litters of Lilos popping up. My legs hurt enough from her sleeping on my legs last night, so I'm fine. I don't need it. I wanted to sit through it, because I just was like, this is such an amazing, fascinating thing. Because I seen like one video, someone like posted a video on Instagram of a cat going through ultrasound because the cat was pregnant. I was just like, that is amazing. I didn't even know that. Like, that just shows how out of touch I am. So, it was funny though, because the dog that they brought in was like a boxer. Because the vet office I go to takes care of like boxers, pit bulls, basically dogs that they basically banned in other veterinarian offices. Like, they don't, like, it's weird though, because it's like with Lilo, she's a mixed breed. Even though to some people it's like, oh, your dog's a pit bull. It's like, no, she's Scooby-Doo, basically. She has the ears, the face. If she was brown and had, I would put like black spots on it, be like, see, that's my dog, Scooby-Doo. So they had to like, they take care of like dogs at other veterinarian places they discriminate against, which pisses me off. I love my dog, and it's a great place because it's like I have papers to show, like, Lilo is not what you say she is. She's basically, you're discriminating against a dog. So, anyway, I had to like get an appointment for Lilo to get her nails cut, because even though the groomer that I take Stitch to, she said she could, take care of Lilo and get her nails cut. It's like, you're nice, but my dog can be an ass at times. She can be nice, but my dog's a lot like me. I could be an ass, and so she can be one too. But it's nice, but because the vet at the place said like, oh, we could take care of her. Bring her in. We have people who can handle dogs like her. All you need to do is stick around, and it'd be $10. I'd be like, that's a deal. So, anyway, I had to talk about Lola because she's like sleeping on my bed, giving me angry looks at times. So, anyway, back to the Batman comics, and I will talk about the new comic book box I got. So, anyway, one thing that bugged me with City of Bane 81 was Batman, the Flashpoint one, Thomas Wayne, who, hold on, anyway, has Robin, Damian Wayne held hostage. Which you kind of knew it was going to happen because in the story, Alfred gets killed, supposedly. I don't know if he is. I don't think he is. It'd be kind of stupid of them to be like, we're going to kill Alfred. And people are like, well, fuck you too. So, Thomas Wayne has Damien held hostage. I love how they don't even talk about the Gotham girl, who is supposed to be Thomas Wayne's Thomas Wayne's daughter or something, and he's compassionate and caring, which is dumb because it's definitely not how he acted before. So, the Bat family shows up, except minus two, Nightwing and Red Hood. So, you had Batwoman, Batgirl, Tim Drake, my favorite, Red Robin. Don't care for the burger place that much, Red Robin, but I like Red Robin, the sidekick. So, I ate there once. I had like the Hawaiian chicken sandwich. It was like not good. So anyway, you had Signal and the other guy. I don't know who the fuck he is. So yeah, fuck him. Who cares? I know somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, he's that guy," and it's just like I really don't know who that dude is. So fuck him. So they show up, and I love how throughout this whole point they have Batwoman. They're hyping her up, like hyping her up from the TV show and all that. Like, Batwoman's a badass. She could do anything. Oh, Huntress was there. Totally forgot about her. Anyway, I love how they had Batwoman there, and they're like hyping her up from the show. Like, she's a badass. She could do anything she wants. She was in the military. She could fuck somebody up. She doesn't do shit in this book. She basically stands there. She's a background character. That's what she does. She's a background character. She just stands there, looking like a ginger wannabe, and she's not really a redhead, so she's just standing there. She's in the background doing nothing. She's useless. And the only ones who are doing something is Tim Drake, Batgirl, Huntress. Damian breaks free. I love how Damian Wayne just breaks free, like casual, like, yeah, I was held hostage and prisoner. I broke free. So, and it wasn't a bad book. It was kind of like a mixture. I was like, I like it. Part of me doesn't like it. I was just happy to see Ramita Jr. doing the artwork. I love what he did with All-Star Batman. I thought he did a great job. Two-Face was kind of it wasn't bad. Like, I just never knew one half of Two-Face's side was like very dark pink. It's supposed to be red, but it kind of looks dark pink. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, sometimes like he could do the artwork great, and some person who does the coloring kind of doesn't match what I visioned the coloring of the his artwork to be. I will say this, like, if you ever look at his artwork in the 90s, like, I love how his artwork was, because it, like, bled into page, as weird as it sounds. Like, once the artwork's, like, drawn and it's, like, bleeding into the page, it looks good. Nowadays, he does, like, artwork on glossy paper. It just doesn't come out right. Something about it just doesn't look right. They look too bulky. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, if you ever watch Comic Book Palace, Glenn will explain it perfectly, what I mean by it. Like, the artwork, by the way, if you ever looking for a comic book show to watch, Comic Book Palace is a good show. I love it. It's funny. 46 episodes. I love that comic you drew. I don't hate that comic you drew. I love it. But it just, I don't know what it is. Like, Romita Jr. is a great artist, but his early work, like in Spider-Man stuff, is like really good. But anyway, so with Thomas Wayne Batman, they circle him, and he just stands there like, really? I love how he stands there and he just looks like, really? Like, so the thing about it is Tom King, he's good at writing dialogue. He's really good at writing dialogue, but when it comes to like action scenes and stuff, he can't really write that good action. And I'm not criticizing, because sometimes when I write an action part in a story, I have to visualize how it would be. But when he does an action scene, he has so much dialogue, which bugs me a bit. It just bugs me. It's like, and it tries to be snarky, smart dialogue, and it just really doesn't come off that way. But if he's going to write like the next female comic book character, he should just write Batwoman, because he's just... So anyway. So Huntress is like, fuck this, let's just get it done. She shoots an arrow. Batman catches the arrow. Flashpoint Batman catches the arrow and stabs Tim Drake in the chest with it. I was pissed at that point. I was just like, fucking shit. I was mad. Because, for those who don't know, Tim Drake Robin is like one of my favorites. I know a lot of people love Dick Grayson. They love Jason Todd. Or they love Damian Wayne. Tim Drake's my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters in the Batman family, besides Batman, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Alfred. Peter J. Tomashi's version of Alfred is my favorite. If Alfred could wear a Flash mask and just stand there and it says things with a straight face, that's my favorite. So this scene bugged me, because there's like one thing. One is, you hype up Batwoman on the TV show and the comics being this badass chick who can fuck somebody up. Why is she just standing there with a blank expression on her face? Well, I wouldn't say blank expression, but this face of like, I'm gonna beat you up face. And all of a sudden, like, shocked by seeing Tim Drake getting stabbed in the chest. So they all decided, like, we're gonna fight him, and they get, fucked up on sight by Flashpoint Batman. At this point, Batman be like, you're fired. No, but the thing of this whole panel and thing that aggravates me is, where the fuck was Grayson and Red Hood? Now, mind you, I know Damian Wayne isn't everybody's favorite character or their cup of tea to be around, but where the fuck was Rick Grayson and Jason Todd? I mean, I didn't see them in other panels, beating up, other D-list Batman villains like Polka Dot Man or Crazy Quilt or the Pink Flamingo, or the Flamingo, whatever the fuck they named that character. Yeah, he was in New 52, by the way. The Pink Flamingo, guy who drives a pink motorcycle. It's like, this is fucking gay. So, I didn't see them doing anything. Where the fuck were they at when Damian Wayne's being held hostage by Thomas Wayne. I mean, they ditched that kid like Vince McMahon did to the WWE superstars in Saudi Arabia. Like, they were just like, well, see ya, fuck you, bye. We're out of here. Like that. Like, I did not ever see anything like that before. But luckily, I read Detective Comics, which was like, I totally forgot what happened in that book. So, do I like Batman 81? It's sort of a hit and miss. I know that there's some parts I really like Clayface being alive, disguised as the Joker, punching out Riddler. That was a good moment. Next to the moment of him killing Talia al Ghul in Arkham City. Can never top that moment of Clayface. That was a good moment. I had to admit, that was a good swerve. That was a pretty good one. Like, Riddler got punched the fuck out. So, I look forward to seeing what's going to happen. My favorite. It was my favorite too. Like, I was like, oh, that's awesome, because in Detective Comics, James the Fourth, the Batman family divided, Civil War, which was a good story, by the way. I enjoy it. I still think Batman's side would totally fuck up Batwoman's side, in my opinion. Some people can debate me on that, but I am telling the truth. Batman's side would totally wipe out Batwoman's side. That would have been a good story, though. That was such a good story. I remember rereading it again, and I was just like, I cannot wait to see what James the Fourth is going to do with this. If it's going to be a Batman family-centered Batman story, I'm on board. You get Batman, you get Catwoman, you get the Bat family. You know, I would love to see like a Bat family Civil War type story. Again, even though James the Fourth already did it, I would love to see it again. This time, just pull the trigger and go through with it. Have Gotham split in two. So, it would have been a great story. I look forward to seeing what Tom King's going to do with the rest of his Batman run. Can't wait to see what he does with Batman and Catwoman. Can't wait to see what happens with that. I think it's going to be a good series. I think, don't quote me on saying it's going to be one of the best. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's going to be memorable, I'm sure. But the way he's talking about it and hyping it, I think they're going to actually go through with it. What they were going to do in Batman 50. So, City of Bane, Batman 81. It was a good book. I'm happy to see Ramita Jr. back in Gotham again, drawing it. I love the standoff between Batman and Hush. The Western standoff. I think it was pretty cool scene. It actually makes me want to see Ramita Jr. do Batman Hush. If they ever do a sequel, which I'm sure Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee would do it in a heartbeat. I know Jeff Loeb talked about it once, saying that he had the story in his head and written out how he wants it to be done. I would love to see Ramita Jr. do a Batman Hush type story. Yeah. I would love to see Ramita Jr. and Miller do a Batman book again. They did the Last Crusade. I would love to see them do a Dark Knight Returns 4 book. So, anyway, time to talk about the board game. The Funko Games Batman Pop Funko Verse Strategy game. I had to buy it. I had to. I bought the Catwoman one, the Robin Catwoman one. I had to buy the Batman one. to go with the rest of the set. This one comes with 4 Funko figures. You have Batgirl, you have Batman, and you have Harley Quinn and the Joker. I absolutely love it. I had to open it. I had to take it out. I had to put the board out. I took photos of it. I just had to look at it. It was such a cool Funko set. The Funko figures are pretty cool. Like, one thing that kind of bugs me a bit is a negative is because the bottom part of the box, not the bottom, but the side where it has all the Funko figures, which has Batman, Catwoman, Joker, and Harley. One thing that kind of bugs me is Joker has Joker playing cards. In this set, Harley has her mallet, Batman has his batarang, or Batgirl has her batarang, or Batman. You could put him on the batarang, Batman or Batgirl. Doesn't matter. The Joker has his Joker cards, and Joker has none of it. He does not have his Joker cards, which kind of bugs me. I was just like, looking at it, I just discovered it. Looking at it right now, I was just like, I wish they had the Joker cards for him. It just makes me wish that they did that, but they didn't. One thing I noticed that is pretty funny is the Joker in this one looks like the Sean Ward show version of Joker, which is pretty funny. I was sort of laughing at it because it's just like, that looks familiar. But yeah, I love this board game. I haven't played it yet. I just love looking at it, as weird as it sounds. I can't wait to play it one day. It's ages 10 and up, 2 to 4 players. So, yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. I love the version of Batman. He has the gray suit, the blue cape, blue cowl, blue and gray bat suit, basically. Kind of has a bit of Batman Hush theme to it, which I noticed, which is really cool. The Joker and Harley are like basically the classic Joker Harley. Batgirl is the classic one. Catwoman, I just noticed that Batman and Catwoman had a bit of the Hush look to it. Robin looks like, well, Robin. So, I think it's the Tim Drake Robin. I'm sure they're going to do another set. They're going to do, possibly Poison Ivy and Nightwing, or Two-Face and Nightwing. I don't know. But, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do is the Nightwing one. I think it's going to be Nightwing and Poison Ivy, basically. There's another Funko verse strategy game. They have the Harry Potter one, which I've seen. The first one is basically Harry, Hermione, Bellatrix Lestrange, and Voldemort. The second one is Draco and Ron. They're okay. I didn't buy it. My cousin did buy it, because she's a massive Harry Potter fan. Because I sent a photograph to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, they have that." I'm like, "Yeah." And she basically bought them. Yeah, they're pretty cool. If you're a Harry Potter fan. They did a Golden Girls one, which kind of made me laugh. I never knew people love playing elderly women who live in Florida. I never knew that. Yeah, I think they did like several of them. Let me look them up real quick. got more than the Batman Harry Potter one. Basically, people are into. Let me look it up. I don't have my laptop out, so bear with me. I have my phone, so yeah. Funko vs. board games. Let's see. I'll just go straight to the website and see what they got. So, yeah. They got them at Amazon, GameStop, Target, Walmart. I got the two from GameStop because I have like a GameStop membership. Oh my god, I got a Funko membership. I gotta join. Yeah, they got the Batman one. They got the Harry Potter one. They got the Golden Girls. They only have two out. I think they got Betty White and some other character. They got Rick and Morty. That's the other one I was thinking of. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, they got those. So I can't wait to see what they do with these because I think they're really cool. If you're into Funko, if your family's into Funko, buy that. You know, it's a really cool board game, and I love the little figures because they're basically like you're getting a board game and you're getting these little figures to add to your collection. And I'm signing up for Funko, by the way, because this is Funko crazy. I tell you what, or this is funking crazy. So yeah, I gotta sign up for this. Yeah. Oh, they got it. I did not know this. They got a iOS app. I gotta sign up for this. Oh, you get to verify. Oh, it's basically, which Funko you have, which one you need. Never mind. So, anyway. So, yeah. I think it's pretty cool. Alright, anyway. Let's talk about the box. I had to buy another comic book box. And I will tell you about it after this commercial break. I gotta turn down the furnace. It is like too hot in here. It is really it's cold outside, so yeah, I had to furnace around it. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Had to turn on the furnace. So anyway, the new box. Anyway, I had to buy another box because I realized my collection is insane. And I have a lot. So I saw this cool box when I was at V-Stock. And it was the Darwin Cook Justice League The New Frontier. The cover of it is really cool. And I love the top of the box which says The New Frontier. And I really love the box design. It's basically the classic Darwin Cook artwork. You got a giant freaking head of Wonder Woman looking at you, which is kind of creepy on two sides. And you have Green Lantern, Hal Jordan looking intimidating. And you have Batman. And my favorite part of it is like it cuts off on one side Green Arrow's head. But you have Batman, who is like center of the box, which is really cool. I always loved Darwin Cook's artwork of Batman and the Flash, because it's very classic. It's a very golden age. And the Flash is always smiling, which I always liked that, because I always felt like the Flash should always be the cheerful, upbeat, happy hero. Not always crying or being emotional or whatever. He should be like this upbeat, happy guy, like, I'm a superhero, I'm the Flash. So I had to buy the box because it's like, one, I needed a new box. I have 7 boxes now. 2 of them are like giant long boxes, which holds up to 200 to 250 books, which is insane. One is Catwoman, which belongs to my Catwoman, so I had to buy this box because I love The New Frontier. It's my favorite Justice League story. It's one of my favorite animated films besides Gotham by Gaslight, which is on the top list of my favorite books. Love you more. And I really like this box. I know they had like different boxes. They had like Deadpool, they had a Venom box, X-Men. So it was just like I had to buy this box. I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't say no to it. Because at the time, at that store, I had to buy like comics, and I had to buy some bags and boards to put new bags and boards into comics. So, yeah, it's a cool box. $12.99, which isn't a bad deal for a box, especially if the box is like covered in artwork. It stands out. It's not, white box. There's nothing wrong with it. It needs some artwork on it. It just needs something to stand out, to pop out to you, like, this is what this box is about. Yeah, it's a cool box. I really like it. I think it's a great box. It's something that kind of goes great with the other boxes I have. So anyway, let's talk about the one crazy thing. This was all over the news. If you're into wrestling. I have to talk about this one because this story it surprised me and it stunned me to a degree of like how batshit crazy WWE is. So, WWE made a deal with Saudi Arabia to do their shows there. They did Crown Jewel, then they did Super Showdown, then they did Crown Jewel again. They might as well call it Crown Jewel 2. I don't know why they didn't, but I don't know. I don't work for WWE. But shit hit the fan And this last one that they did, this latest one they did, over 20, I think 20 WWE superstars, it was top 20 is who went with Vince McMahon and back to the US. A bunch of WWE talent, I wouldn't say superstars, might as well say the true thing that nobody says. Private contractors is basically what they are. They aren't employees, they're private contractors. Were left in Crown Jewel. Not left in Crown Jewel, but left in Saudi Arabia after the Crown Jewel show. The talent, production, and producers were left in Saudi Arabia by Vince McMahon. After Vince McMahon got into a argument with the Saudi Arabian government over $60 million. How fucking crazy is that? When I heard this story, I was stunned. I didn't laugh. I was stunned about it. Mind you, Vince McMahon is now doing the XFL. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's Vince McMahon. No, you don't leave talent, individuals who can't get out of a country there by themselves. But you did. There was a lot of WWE talent or private contractors that were on social media pissed off. You really couldn't blame them, because after being told that there was engine problems in the plane, being left in the plane for 6 hours, then getting off the plane, then being sent to your hotel, you can't get home, and you find out your boss is basically having a dick-waving contest, as one person said, with Saudi Arabian government. You'd be pissed. You'd be like fucking livid about hearing how stupid your boss is. Getting into a fight with a country government who is scary, to be honest. They're very scary people. I'm not being racist or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you're getting into a fight with a country that is holding the keys to the plane to getting out of here, you'd be scared. It's scary. Especially if your boss is batshit crazy. And I did a podcast episode talking about this man doesn't even know what the fuck a burrito is. It's a scary thing. Or he didn't realize men were attracted to Asian women and didn't know there was Asian porn sites. You didn't know that. It is scary to hear that this man is arguing with the country government. And you're stuck there in the middle of this whole situation going like, shit. And you're tired and you want to get home to be with your family and unfortunately go back to work for this guy. Is what happened. Now, I don't know what happened. I'm reading reports of this is what happened, this is what happened. So I'm going to go to Reddit. I don't know what, I don't trust Reddit half the time, but I have to go to Reddit and read this situation because this is what happened. Alright, let me find it. Here it is. To know what happened over there. Trying to put all this together since there are many sources, not following what's going on overnight. Delayed lasted for hours, and some had to become suspicious of the delay, according to the wrestling sheet, because there was issues with the plane. Update. Second charter flight had to be pulled together for top talent to make it to SmackDown. 20 people, 12 were talent, but had to leave the rest. The rest are still there. Sorry, the rest of the talent is still there. Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon are already on their way back in their own flights. Vince reportedly left hours before while talent was still on the ground. This guy, who is solely responsible for talent, responsible for those who are working for them, leaves hours before they get on there. I'd be honest with you, I would not trust this guy running a football league. I mean, he did, and it went into the ground, and he's doing it again, which a lot of us here in the Show Me State are like, we don't really fucking care, to be quite honest. We got soccer. We got soccer coming. We're happy for that. But hearing this makes me not have faith for this guy running a football team, especially having a team in my state. I don't trust that. I'm not saying I should be in charge of the football team, which, be honest, I should, because I'm much smarter than this guy. Because I wouldn't leave anybody in a fucking country by themselves. I'd be like, come on, we're getting the fuck out of here, we're going. And this, here's the thing. I know Vince McMahon is wealthy. He's a billionaire. I don't know how, but he's a billionaire. And I know billionaires love having their private jets and their private island, their land, but their home on it. To be quite honest, I would not blame them, because I did not sleep well last night. I wish I had 10 acres of land. Did not have neighbors. But you're on a private jet. You could at least squeeze in a few people into that jet. Be like, come on, damn it, we're getting out of here. That's my Vince McMahon impression, by the way. Not a good one, but, you know. Let me try. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it, come on. There, that's better. So, you have a private jet. You couldn't at least squeeze in a few people. You couldn't have just said, like, hey, come on. Let's get on a plane, we gotta get here. Rest of you guys, don't worry. I'll send a private plane to pick you guys up. No, he just was like, fuck these people, I'm out here. It's kind of an asshole. That is a Class A asshole move to do that. You leave people who trust you. I love you so much more. You leave people there. To be honest with you, I don't get along with a lot of people. But if we were stuck somewhere, I wouldn't be an asshole to leave them. I'd just be like, come on, you fucker. You're right in the trunk, by the way. Come on, let's get out of here. That's what I would do. I wouldn't leave them there. But he did. He left them there. And I'm not laughing about the whole situation. I'm laughing about how awkward this is. Would you imagine this fucker does an interview? Not an interview, but a meeting. And he has all the talent there. And he's giving his motivational speech. I'd be like, wait a minute. You're the asshole who left us there. Why are you giving us a motivational speech? I wouldn't trust you with a lemonade stand. But you left us there. Now, he got 20 people, the top 20 as he refers to it, on that plane. Now, this is more of an awkward situation for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, of course, did an interview on a podcast. By the way, they have a podcast. WWE has a podcast, which they do their news, they talk about random things, they talk about edgy things, man. And I'm not a wrestling podcast. I'm more of a comic book, movie podcast. I mean, I talk occasionally about WWE and stuff, and this situation was all over the news, especially for Comic Book Resource. This was on there, and I was just like, I have to talk about it. So, there's a lot of a lot of pro wrestling podcasts like Salamonster, Don Tony, Amplified Man on YouTube. Good show, by the way. I watched him on YouTube. Those are good guys who do good shows. I'm not just saying that to, you to tell them that, but I'm just saying that because I listen to them and they're really good podcasters. They're really good. And WWE's trying to muscle them out because these guys are blunt and honest about what the fuck's going on. So, WWE's joining in on the podcasts. They're trying to muscle them out and muscle a lot of people out because they want to be the one who is keeping people in the bubble, the WWE bubble. They don't want the bubble to burst. They don't want people to leave the dome. They want to keep them there because, that's what they do. They're a company. I mean, for God's sakes, they're in the movie business. They're plugging their movies, which aren't really good. But they want people to watch them. They want people to stay in the WWE bubble, which is stupid and wrong. Because people should go and look for different things to watch, different shirts to wear, different socks to wear. I like Sting as much as the next person, but I ain't wearing socks with Sting on them. I'm sorry. I'll wear socks with Batman on them. That's it. Or socks with Scooby-Doo. And I sure as hell ain't wearing John Cena underwear. Who the fuck would wear boxers with "you can't see me"? No one would want to wear that. But anyway. I mean, they tried to do the tap out workout clothes. They couldn't even get into that. That shit sank. Because people buy Under Armour. People like wearing Under Armour workout clothes because, from experience, they are comfortable. They're great. They're great to wear when you're lifting weights, doing squats, doing sit-ups, push-ups. They're comfortable. I'm not saying tap out isn't comfortable. To be honest, who would wear a shirt that says tap out? But anyway. So, Hulk Hogan, Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon all got on their own flights. Of course, Vince left before the talent were still left hours before the talent was still on the ground. PW Insider has been told that majority of the delayed flights leaving Saudi Arabia for tonight's SmackDown taping will not make the taping and are at the hotel in Regida. I guess that's what it's called. No word yet on when they will return to the United States. Then people were left in Saudi Arabia for 24 hours. They were left there for a day, basically. And there's a photo of Luke Harper he posted. And he looked pissed. He looked mad. And I think it was like one of the dudes who are in the one tag team that went up to NXT, standing behind him. He looked pissed too. A lot of them looked mad. One dude was trying to make them, most of it trying to be funny, holding the cup, laughing and all that. But the one guy was like fucking pissed. He was just like, I'm done with this shit. And you really couldn't blame them. A lot of them are mad. I'd be mad too if I was left there. And I don't know if this violates their contract, being private contractors. But if it did, I would sure as hell be asking for my release. I'd be asking for, get me out of this contract. I do not want to be in this contract. I don't feel respected or valued because I was left there by my boss, who, by the way, released a statement. They released a statement over the situation, basically blaming them for being stuck there. Being stuck there. Because they were dubbed not the top 20. I don't know who the hell wrote that statement, which basically backhands your talent, your people that work for you. Now, mind you, if I was dubbed and not in the top 20 by my boss, I'd be like, take this job, shove it up your ass, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And give him my check. Because I would be out at the door. I'd be like, fuck this place. I don't need to be here. You don't need me. I don't need you. I'm done. That's how it'd be. That's how it'd be. I would be like, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. Now, a lot of them got on social media. And I got to read some of the comments. More than 175 people. 175 Superstars production crew and employees were left there. And they had to scramble. What I heard, WWE had to scramble. They had to get talent to get them in. Talent from NXT. To get them in, do their show, get done. Would you imagine? I know this sounds like an asshole comment to say about Vince McMahon, but I have to say it. Would you imagine Vince McMahon all of a sudden walks into the building looking for everybody? Where the hell are they at? They're over in Saudi Arabia. What the hell are they doing over there? I don't know. You're the boss. You tell us. Like, that would be... I imagine somewhere he is somehow in his mind. And I know of Vince McMahon for many years. I've heard stories about this guy. I mean, for God's sakes, this is a man who does not know a burrito. What a burrito is. He puts ketchup on a burrito. Who the hell puts ketchup on a burrito? But anyway, somehow in his mind, I'm sure somewhere he's like, it's their fault. They're stuck there. It's not my fault, even though I wanted $60 million from Saudi Arabia government for the 2 shows I did. But it's their fault. So, what happened was he cut the live broadcast in Saudi Arabia, is what I heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's accurate. But somewhere, it was their fault. So, anyway. So the story, according to the Wrestling Observer, part of the statement came off as a certain group wanted to get back for the show while the rest were going to remain in Saudi Arabia, basically making the group that forced to stay look unmotivated and lazy. Why the fuck would you call somebody you left there lazy? I put ketchup on everything. Oh shit, I'm sorry. If it makes you feel better, I put cheese on everything. I put cheese on, I don't know, I put cheese on everything. If there's no cheddar or mozzarella cheese, I can't eat it. It can't be that great. I mean, it's kind of weird though, because I put like sour cream and cheese in my chili. I don't know why. I've been doing that for a while. It's odd though, because like anytime I cook French fries, I put mozzarella cheese on top of it. I'm very weird about that, so yeah. So, why would you call the people that you left there, who were forced to stay, look unmotivated and lazy? Part of the story is the wrestlers charting their own flight out was not true, and WWE put them together. Social media, numerous superstars commented about not being in the top 20, or the first group that WWE flew out of Saudi Arabia. Curtis Axel, otherwise known as Joe Henning. I feel better things. Curtis Axel, known as Joe Henning, the son of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, wrote, "Not in the hashtag top 20, middle finger emoji, I'm number one at home. We don't leave each other behind at WWE." He put them in there. He called WWE out on it. Luke Harper, one of my favorite wrestlers, because he's a cool dude. So he wrote, "Larry, I'm home. I guess I didn't want it enough to pay for my own charter, but I'm home now. Hashtag not top 20. Harper, by the way, is the guy who wants to get out of his contract in WWE. He requested a contract release, and instead they signed him. Instead they extended his contract, I think. I think he tried to get out of his contract, and they said, no, you're not getting out. So, in a comment of Harper's post, a handful of WWE stars talked about being the last to get out of the country. Tyson Kidd, very underrated talent, by the way. Sadly, he had to retire because of neck problems. Wrote, "Next time we pull our money together instead of being lazy." Eric Young, one of my favorite dudes as well, one of my favorite wrestlers. I watched him from TNA Impact Wrestling to being in WWE. He's a guy who I don't understand why WWE doesn't do anything with him. So he wrote, "I'll pitch in. Next time I'll have more pride in myself to take it upon myself to be better. What a world. What a fucking universe." Scott Dawson, hashtag poor. AEW champion Chris Jericho, one of the greatest Canadian wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, wrote, "Shame on you, lazy embarrassments to the company. Glad everybody made it home safely." This one is basically what Carl Anderson, I think, took a shot at Seth Rollins. "We will see how things shake out on Monday Night Raw. Carl Anderson is hoping for a leader to step up," he wrote, quote, Looking forward to seeing who's the locker room leader is Monday. Popcorn emoji, heart emoji." Which is basically a jab at Seth Rollins, who dubbed himself as the locker room leader. Back in the day in wrestling, they had locker room leaders. In WWE, Undertaker. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm back. I heard somebody walking in my hallway. I realized it was Lola playing in her litter box. Because it sounded like somebody was dragging her feet on the tile floor in the kitchen. Scared the shit out of me, cat. So anyway, locker room leader. Locker room leader is basically someone who's in charge of making sure there's order backstage. Everyone's following the rules. back in the day, Undertaker was the locker room leader. He always kept everybody in line because he had a classic wrestler's court. Which, there's a lot of stories. I know, the cat scared the fuck out of me. Because I heard something dragging its feet in a tile floor in the kitchen and the hallway. I was thinking, what the fuck is that? And it's my cat. And there she is, sitting next to me. So, locker room leader is the guy who speaks out for the entire roster, who basically, they get together, they talk about the issues, and the locker room leader brings it to Vince McMahon, and they talk about it, and they, basically that's what it is. In Seth Rollins' case, failed to be the locker room leader. Didn't think about the other talent. Instead, left them behind. So, that's what Carl Anderson meant by it. So, yeah, a lot of them got mad and pissed about the whole damn flight thing. And you really couldn't blame them, in my opinion. I would love to be the fly on the wall of that situation between the locker room leader. I think it's either Seth Rollins or... I think it's Seth Rollins because Roman Reigns is on SmackDown, so yeah. I would love to see the entire shit go down. I can't wait to hear it. If you are into WWE behind the scenes stories and stuff, I check out Brian Alvarez. That's another guy who's pretty funny. If you ever type in Brian and Vinny TNA Impact, there's a ton of funny commentary reviews of TNA Impact shows. I laughed my ass off at the one where it's the Christmas one. It's a Christmas tree barbed wire match, and my cat's attacking a bottle of water, looking for her temptation treats. Now she's attacking my shoes. So, it was a Christmas tree barbed wire match. It had Dustin Rhodes, Abyss, and Relic, which is killer spelled backwards, Relic. Yeah, so it's a pretty damn funny review of it, because they basically go through the entire match, and I think there's there's this video where they play the match and these guys are talking about it, and it's hilarious to watch, because it's entertaining and stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's my WWE commentary on the Saudi Arabia flight incident. Whatever happened, it's going to take a long time till one of the people who were there through the whole situation talks about it when they're released from the contract, and they do the shoot interview and they talk about it. I can't wait to hear it, because it's been a while since we heard about the plane ride from hell story. We heard it from X-Pac, Sean Waltman. I forget who else. I always go to Sean Waltman. I think Justin Credible talked about it, I think. But Sean Waltman was one person I kind of listened to hear what he said, because he's an honest guy, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say he's full of shit, but he's honest, in my opinion. It was an interesting story. So, yeah. It was a very interesting story to hear. I'm happy that they made it back safely on their flight. It was a crazy story to hear about it, because when you're listening to it and you're like, shit, there was like a big blowout, the story of they were held hostage, which I don't know if they were. Do I think Vince McMahon is pretty shitty on his end of it? Yeah. It was pretty shitty of him. If you really cared about these people that you valued and respect, you would put money together. I mean, you're a billionaire. You could rent a plane to be like, go get them back here. That's what he would have, not would have, but should have done as he landed and heard the things about, oh shit, my people aren't here with me. They're still over there. Send a plane over. So, hostage or not hostage, the whole point of it is Vince McMahon came out pretty shitty on his end of it. I think it was low of him to do that. It certainly does not paint him out to be any good person. It just paints him out to be a really shitty person. You don't do that to talent. You don't do that to your coworkers or your employees or whatever. So, yeah, that's what I think of it. So, anyway, sorry it took a long story to talk about that. I was very, very bothered by it. I kind of wanted to wait for more information to come out. My cat is attacking the comic book box. So anyway, new comics are coming out November 6th. Green Lantern, Black Stars. DC's Year of the Villain. I don't know how long they've been doing that for a while. Legion of Doom. Batman 82 comes out. The Amazing Spider-Man 33. Batman Universe number 5, which I basically have, because those are the stories that they did in the DC Giant books. Black Cat number 6. Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 9. Daredevil 13. Deathstroke number 49. Doctor Doom number 2. Are you having fun with the box? Ghost Rider number 2. I didn't even know they rebooted it. Let's see. Lois Lane number 5. Wow, they're on number 5. How long has that book been out? For a while. Let's see. Rick and Morty Presents Unity number 1. Star Wars. Superman Up in the Sky number 5. Never heard of it. Teen Titans Go Giant number 1. I have that book, by the way. Just discovered it's been released on Young Justice number 10. Wonder Twins number 9. Wonder Twins Can Go to Hell by Josh 7. So basically I'm saying fuck Wonder Twins. Who needs that book? So anyway, yeah. I enjoyed doing this podcast, by the way. I know a lot of people ask me the question of that, so yeah. I gotta talk about this one. This one's pretty interesting. It's about Zack Snyder and the rumors of the Snyder Cut. Jason Momoa, who played Aquaman, stated he has seen the Snyder Cut of the Justice League and he says it's a very different film. I don't know how long they've been running this story. I would love to see, in a way, a continuation of the Snyder version of the Justice League. Do I think it'll ever happen? I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen. But I do believe it's different than I do believe it's different than the Joss Whedon Justice League. I think Whedon presented a film that Warner Brothers wanted to present to the fans, and everybody wasn't for it. I mean, I sat through that film in theaters. I sat through that film like I sat through Suicide Squad. I never believed there was a director's cut of Suicide Squad. I think it was a very bad film we got, in my opinion. I mean, I know there's people who love it. And I'll admit, I like the soundtrack of Suicide Squad. It's a different soundtrack. It's not my... There's some songs I like, and there's some songs I find kind of annoying. Like the song, they always play with Harley Quinn, like You Don't Own Me. It's a very... They play that song to the time the drum died. They beat the drum of it till it's like dead. And it's hard to believe the woman who sang that song, who did the original version, because this version was different than the original version. The original song was written by the woman who played Catwoman's sidekick in the episode where Robin turns bad and joins her and Catwoman. Pussycat was her name. She was Catwoman's sidekick, and she's a singer. She sang in the episode. She actually sang and wrote that song, You Don't Own Me. If you didn't know that, you learned something. You'd be like, I heard a lot of crazy shit stories from this guy, and I just learned something today. So yeah, she did that song. So you could thank Batman 66 for that one. Not really. You could thank the woman who did the song if you like that song. So yeah, she just happened to appear in the 60s Batman. So do I think there was a Snyder Justice League film director's cut, the Snyder cut as they call it? I don't know. If Jason Momoa says there is, then there is. I just have to see it to believe that there is a Snyder cut. Do I think they'll release it in March? I know they talked about this rumor of March. I think so. I mean, it'd be smart for them, business-wise, to be like, we got the Snyder cut, it's done, it's finished. If you want to watch it, you have to get the HBO Max to watch it. That'd be smart of them. That would be the smart move, business-wise. You would get those people who've been clamoring and doing, not protests, but renting signs at San Diego Comic-Con, renting a plane to fly over Comic-Con, billboards, all that stuff. They would go right into it. They would give you their debit card or credit card number just to get HBO Max, just to watch that film and be happy. That's what they'll do. That's what they always will do. So, yeah, that's the news of the Snyder Cut. I would love to see it, because I think Ben Affleck was a great Batman. I look forward to seeing what Robert Pattinson's going to do. If they got the guy who's doing the fight choreography and John Wick involved, and take my money, because that dude created some awesome fucking fight scenes in John Wick. I just wish they had Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross doing the soundtrack. That's what I wish for. I wish they did the soundtrack for the Batman film, because I like Nine Inch Nails, and I like the soundtrack of Social Network and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It would be great to see that, but I doubt it. I mean, they did Watchmen, which I haven't watched it. I heard it's not that good, so I think once the full season's out, I'll get HBO and watch it and review it and talk about it. So, anyway, this is the wrap-up of the podcast. I can't believe it went by so quickly. So anyway, I got a question right here. Would you buy the Harry Potter Funkoverse strategy game? I don't know. I used to be a big Harry Potter fan, but I kind of grew out of it. I wouldn't say I grew out of it. I sort of got alienated out of it because of J.K. Rowling changing continuity, changing every character, changing every crazy ass thing. It kind of bugged me because it's like, you read the books, you've seen the film, you don't even know what is in continuity, what is out of continuity. It just aggravated me to the point where I just didn't care about Harry Potter and stuff. If I had to choose of which strategy game I had to buy, Harry Potter or the Golden Girls, I'd rather buy the Golden Girls. I'm not even a big fan of Golden Girls, but I would rather buy that than the Harry Potter one. I look forward to seeing what other parts they add to the strategy game. I would love to see them add more characters in the Batman verse. I love to see them do more. I think this is such a cool thing that they're doing with Funko, and they're making a strategy game of it. I know they're doing a Funko movie because of the Lego movie success. Yeah, I mean, if I had to buy something else, I'd buy Legos. I'd put together the Lego Batmobile. I know they did one which is a remote control car. I think it's really cool. I would love to buy that, but knowing my luck, putting it together, Lola would destroy it. My cat would beat the shit out of the Batmobile. I would have Lego pieces everywhere, and the cat would just be sitting. Wouldn't be sitting there, she'd be laying there look what I did. I took out your entire Batmobile. That's what would happen. I would have that thing running. I would be driving that Batmobile. All of a sudden, she'd be chasing after it and smack it with her paw. To the point where the Batmobile just crashes into the dryer. That's what would happen. Because my cat's kind of mean. She's a sweet angel, but she's mean. So, yeah, that's what would happen. If I bought Legos, she would probably destroy it. Yeah, so anyway, what's the other question? The WWE Saudi Arabia thing's kind of shitty on McMahon's part. I agree with you on it. Do you think more stories of it will be happening soon? I don't know. I think Dave Meltzer will be the first one to report what will happen next, because he always has inside information on what's going on backstage in WWE. So I think he will sort of talk about what's going on. I really don't know what's going to happen backstage in WWE Raw. I will see the show, see what happens. Kind of do a not a character study, but more of a personality study of seeing what happens. Because most talent sort of has facial reactions of when they come out to the ring and stuff, which, you really can't blame them for being angry and pissed off about the situation that happened, because, I think they are going to be wanting out of WWE in the future. I mean, I'm sure they want out now. What happened afterwards. But I don't think no apology or anything is ever going to make up for it, because it's like this. If you get left somewhere that you're not familiar with, that you're not adapted to, environment that you're adapted to, and you're just left there, and all of a sudden they come back and pick you up, and you'd be pissed off. You'd be aggravated and angry. It's I've been left in places where I didn't know where the hell I'm going. And I was mad and fuming, angry about it. But, I got over it, because it's just it's sort of, it wasn't that, but it was sort of anxiety of it. The anxiety of the situation is pretty bad, because if you have anxiety and you're in a new environment, a new surrounding, you're going to have a hard time adapting. I think that's what happened. I think they had a lot of anxiety issues, and following the comments of, being called lazy and, and stuff. So that didn't help. That just made it worse. That just added gas to the fire. And I wish I had a camera backstage just to see what happens. Just to know what's going on. So, yeah. What do you think will happen in the Batman comics? I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people have been clamoring about what's going to happen with 5G, the DC 5G thing. I know what I've heard is that DC's trying to salvage what's left of their comics. I think that they're going to try to go back to the old style of what they were doing, like the Rebirth and stuff. I think that if they listen to their fans, what the fans want, then things would be going great. For me, I think what a lot of Batman fans want is basically the Bat family. They're tired of, I think, the drama and soap opera stories. I mean, look what happened with Superman. Superman's basically dead. There's like there's two ways of why that is. Is one, people don't give a shit about Superman. And two, people don't give a shit about Brian Bendis as a writer. It's like if you wrote like the suckiest version of X-Men, people don't give a shit about you. They don't care about your views and stuff. I mean, here's the thing. X-Men is really liked and really loved, and you wrote like the shittiest version to the point where it's a joke, a meme, a laughingstock. You collaborated with an artist that shouldn't even be drawing an X-Men comic. I mean, if you could draw a character and all in the background is just a blue background, you're not that talented of an artist. You should be drawing more. I wouldn't say you're not a talented artist. I mean, I can't draw worth of shit, so I'm not a talented artist. But I like visual stuff in the background. I like looking at something that is beautiful in the background. And the artist that, of course, I'm working with, my Catwoman, on our Batman comic, it is amazing at what she draws. She could draw like the most amazing background scenery behind a character that you can imagine. I mean, the way she drew Arkham Island and the story that we're doing is amazing. It's really cool, especially the starry sky with the ocean. Kind of looks like the it's kind of funny though. I don't know if she ever heard of Super Friends. It kind of looks like the Legion of Doom headquarters, because like the headquarters sort of had like Darth Vader helmet. It's really cool, and I saw that. I just was like, that is amazing, but it also looks like my favorite cartoon. Because I love the Legion of Doom villains, because it had like Joker, Riddler, Lex Luthor, Solomon Grundy, who was born on a Monday. I forget, like Giganta and other great characters. And I love the Super Friends. It's like one of my favorites. So yeah, I love like the evil Batman who was in it, which was basically like evil Batman with like this crazy mustache. It was like the craziest story. So yeah, anyway, this is the wrap up of the podcast. I know I rambled. I know it's supposed to be over so I can do other crazy things today, but so anyway, this is the wrap up of the podcast. Tomorrow's episode, we will be talking about, I don't even know what we're going to be talking about. I know there's one thing that a lot of people requested for me to bring back, which was the music thing, because I talked about music, really bad music. But tomorrow's episode, we're going to be talking about really bad movies, which I really enjoy. I enjoy really bad movies. So, tomorrow's episode, we're going to be talking about Hallmark Christmas movies. They're all over television. Even on channels that they shouldn't be on. Not really. But they play a lot of commercials, which makes me vomit. I'm sorry. Who the hell will be happy during Christmas? It's not even Christmas. You're standing out in the snow. You're with a person you don't like, but you have an attraction to, and you're looking for a tree and whatever bullshit you're looking for. Anyway, this is the wrap up of the podcast. I will see you all tomorrow with Hallmark Christmas and whatever it is. So anyway, see you. Bye. Final thoughts are, bah humbug.